Let's do it.
Alright, so we have another pellet BB gun review, not an airsoft review again. This is of the Crosman Remington Airmaster77. In terms of, I'm just going to go over the materials first. It has a synthetic polymer stock or plastic stock. The cover here is plastic and that slides, and I'll talk about that after. Trigger, and I'm assuming trigger assembly, but I can't tell, is metal. The body feels like metal. I think it is because it's chipping, or the paint is chipping. So the bolt here is metal. No, it's plastic. I lied. The cover is metal. The pump is plastic, but the pumping things in here are metal. And yeah, the pump and stuff is metal. The barrel is metal. The inner barrel, don't want to look down, but I'm assuming it's metal. It's got a fiber optic sight in the front here. Has adjustable rear sights, which are metal. And then I'm just going to go over some of the things. So obviously it's got a fake wood stock that's plastic, and you can tell it's plastic, it's hollow. It looks like it has a design of wood on it, but it's painted black. It's a nice feel for a grip. Has a safety. The safety's here. It's the standard bar safety. It's on safe. You can't pull the trigger back because it hits a little bar. You push it back like that, and then you can pull the trigger. How it functions is you pump it once, twice, 3 times, anywhere from, I think it was 3 to 10 times. This isn't my gun, this is my cousin's gun, so, who is still filming. Then you pull back on the bolt here, and then you push it forward, and you can check that there's a BB there, because sometimes it doesn't feed, which is a problem with it. And then, push fire, aim down range at your can. And miss, or hit. I suggest you hit, because that's better. So it's a BB gun, so you pop this, it uses a reservoir style thing, so you can pop this back here. I believe there's a BB stuck underneath it at the moment. But, you just pop the cap here back on the bottom of the handle, and there's a hole. You pour your BBs in there, and then from there, it's a magazine style thing on this side. Simply pull this back like that, and then you dump it this way, and then you push it forward, and there's BBs in there. There was already some BBs in there, but I put some more. This thing on the top here, this is actually a rail. It's not your standard Picatinny rail, but it's a little thin rail, and it comes with a scope that goes on that rail, so you don't have to look for a scope that goes on that rail. Although I have seen a similar rail before on the Desert Eagle. So I'm not sure if the scope that came with this gun would fit on the Desert Eagle, though that would be pretty cool. It's a 4x zoom scope. Takes a very long time to adjust. You have to know what you're doing when you're adjusting it. That's why we don't have it on there. As for changing the sight, the heights on the sight, just push it forward, pull it back, kind of lift this up, and then you move that. Some issues that we've had, and then for using with pellets, you just don't load BBs in here, and then when you're going to fire, you pull back on this. I'll just fire this off after so I can do that. Pull it back, and you just load your pellet in there, and you just push it forward, and then you fire it, and you fire a pellet, but that obviously you still have to pump it, because otherwise it would just go like, with the barrel. Some issues that we've had with it is it jams sometimes, and you have to kind of like go like that, and just release the tension on the BBs, and then they'll feed properly. That's really the only issues we've had, besides calibrate. The middle of nowhere, and there's still an ambulance. Headed somewhere. Anyways, so we had trouble calibrating the scope as well, because there's 2 little knobs on the top and bottom of the scope. But then I unscrewed the knob all the way, only to find that we weren't adjusting the scope at all, because the actual thing for adjusting the scope was underneath that thing. It was just a cap, and then you need like a flathead screwdriver to do it. So that wasn't too fun to find out, because we kept thinking we were adjusting it and then taking shots, but it was never changing the accuracy of it. Anyways, also this is also a synthetic wood. It's not supposed to look like, or it's kind of like detailed to look like wood, probably because they sell one that's not painted, that's not black, and they just use the same mold. And then that way they don't have to have like a smooth or like a gripped mold for this, and then they just have a synthetic wood mold, and then they can just mold it in black or in wood color. I'm gonna assume that's why they do that. But this has been my review of the Crosman Remington Airmaster77, and it's a pretty good BB gun, pellet gun. Shoots about 495 feet per second. And if you don't know, here's a limit for airsoft guns and pellet guns and stuff. It's 500 FPS. Past that, they're considered a firearm, approximately 500 FPS. But after that, they're considered a firearm. So this one's hitting that pretty close. Alright, so this has been the review for this gun, Airmaster77, and I'll see you next time.
I dig it.